Okay, hello everyone. This is Stuart at Three Gear Studios. Today, long promised, it seems to be the project that keeps on getting kicked back for one reason or another. We'll be touching up this dire troll that we started that we did during last month's paint night. I know this month we're supposed to be doing a um, death tyrant, which is going to be awesome. But we are just not. Um, I'm still looking out for when actual the actual models are supposed to be coming in. So just looking at this, this is an awesome model that they gave us for this last paint night. But you can see it. It's the excuse me. The base coat I went to light on, and then I tried to top coat with this darker tone, which I've yet to see that really work. The eyes are okay. I'd probably let them passable, but a few of them, like this guy right there, look at that eye. Um, Look at that eye. Out of focus. I have to focus it so you can see that eye. Yeah, you can see how that pupil just goes all over the place. I didn't mask it right. But that means that the toughest parts of the eyes are pretty much done. This guy has got some chipping on his eye too. We could work with it. I don't know if I'll touch it up yet or touch it up or not. Probably depends on how the rest of the stuff. So the first thing to really approach is trying to get it so that there's some deeper colors in there in order to um, some deeper colors in there in order to make sure that you can actually get a little bit more texture. There's two ways to do this. Um, you can either go in with a wash in order to try to really get some paint to cling to those things, or you can go with more of a topical treatment with just base coating, um, redo the base coat of the model. Um, let's see what I find for things. Um, I could go with this angel green. That looks like a nice one. I still have the original Vallejo strip that they brought with this model too. So pick up my entire tray of greens and blues because they seem to go together. There we go. The entire. There was some great thing. I love this mint color. Let me get this actually in shot. I love this mint color. It does a lot. Toxic mist. Beautiful. Elemental bolt. Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to get the lighting because my other light doesn't have a plug. I just redid my setup in my seating area around my setup. So there's a lot of we're doing. Crypt Wraith might also be interesting. And Cultist Robe. It looks a little bit more of a flat color, and I'm not sure if I want the flatness. But we'll see. And I'm going to bring up this other palette of colors because it looks like some of my colors got mixed. Wonder who did that. This is a green. Why is this doing it with my reds? Got some purples in here. I could go deep with purple. Matte black. I feel like I was trying to find that and it was just in the wrong place. So, yeah. Well, let's shake these three up to see what we get. go. So let's go. I'm gonna pull out the handy dandy standard brush because nothing really beats going with getting a baseline to work with. I've been using a lot of plates for my palette recently, but today let's go back to the basic, the glass palette. You can see it's well loved, and you also can see that I don't always wash my palettes. In fact, I probably lose more brushes because I'm not particularly good at taking care of my equipment. I need to work on that. It's not right. So let's get this over a little bit because blocking. So shaking my paints. Um, I was worried about the cult robes being a little bit flat, but just looking at the base here, it's kind of muddy with the crypt wraith. Cult robes looks all right. That looks a little bit too green for this level. So I'm gonna start with the cult robes just to get deep in there. I can always deepen the color with washes later, but we'll see how it goes. So dip out some cult robe. Wet the brush a little bit because I do want this paint to go a little bit further in the cracks than usual. I'm going to start right with the stern. I'm just seeing if I feel this. Because it could still be too flat for what I'm doing. I might have to use some color theory. And I'm going to focus this not on his belly, but anywhere there's any cracks. I want it to look a little bit deader, a little bit deeper. Something to get ready for when I actually do go in with the washes. To get that great color contrast. Get in there. Get into the creases. It's like I want this to be a wash, but not a wash. You know? Chances are this is going to end up doing, because he has so many great ripples and creases and things like that, is that this is probably going to end up being over most of his body. I got to think. There's some boils right here. I got to think what I can deal with. I also want to try to be careful not to leave any bubbles, because this is a fairly watered down color. Turn over to the back. Get that thigh. Delicious thigh. Troll chicken wings. I don't know, chicken wings cut from the thigh. Someone out there look that up. Where did the chicken wings come from? So, and for those out there who are thinking it, no, chicken wings do not come from my dog. I don't care if she looks like her fur looks like she's fried chicken. I know someone's thinking it. You see my glare, but you can't see me. Ha! all secret like.
And if they don't know what she looks like, they could jump over to 3 Year Studios Instagram.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know what she looks like, go to 3 Gear Studios Instagram to find out. Lena's back here talking. Don't know how much you guys can hear. If I think it's mention worthy, I'll mention it because, like I said, I don't know what you can hear. Yeah, we're both crafting back here. I think 2 weeks ago you saw a video where Lena was crafting and she was leading up that one. We're trying to get you this every week. Last week there was stuff that happened, so it just didn't happen. As will happen every now and then. Um, we celebrated Lena's 25th birthday again. You know, when we did this one, I missed that there's these little bone fragments in his armbands.
Fragment on his waist. Hey, what is that you're putting on right now?
I am putting on this, it's a color called Cult Robe. I watered it down a fair bit, and I'm putting it in trying to focus on getting into the cracks to kind of deepen the model.
Wow, that's really like night and day.
Yeah, because I want him to look dirtier. I want him to look deeper. I don't want him to be this plasticky green that he is right now. Because yes, that's what I think of this color is that it's a plastic with how it was applied. It looks like a green plastic kid's toy from the gumball machines. For those who remember the gumball machines, the gotchas will get you. So we got to mess him up a little bit before we actually like fix him anyway. So getting some of this inside of his palm. I think the mixture got a little bit more watery, which is fine. So I think after we finish fixing up this guy, I'll go back to this fairy model that I did that I think I'm not happy with her and try to fix her up and trying to get her to it is this one's going to be a lot more precise work because a lot more of it is trying to make small details pop. Um, him, I think I just layered the colors wrong. Doesn't matter how many years you're doing it. Sometimes you make mistakes. Sometimes you run with something you're just not feeling and you don't want to admit to yourself you're not feeling it. Kids, pay attention to your feels.
Pay attention to your what?
Your feels.
Oh,
Try to there. This guy, oh, I forgot who I was saying he reminded me of when I was originally painting with. I'm gonna call him a Jeff. It's a Jeff face. Sorry for all those people out there named Jeff. This is like, no, he was Frank, like the neighbor Frank from Places, or from that '70s show. He looks like he's just gonna come in and say sports ball. Let's watch the sports ball. And and not have to inquire about what color team, what color jerseys we're rooting for this time. I think that trolls in general are one of those monsters I want to use more often. Um, I think I think in general I overlook them a lot when I get into the prime levels that trolls are really good for. When they really are scary. Um, Especially I ran into one troll encounter where they actually gave him like a fireproof robe. So the first so much damage with from fire just is absorbed by his cloak. So then, but after it kind of hardens and falls away to the wayside. So it's not all forever. I think the cloak probably should have been a little bit beefier, but than it was because I think it only absorbed like 5-10 points of damage, which that's like one attack at the level they met him up in. Let's get down here, get into this crack because there's a lot of heads joining in there. There should be a lot of crack in there. A lot of crack. And I'm seeing places on his in the model where I think I want to go in and get in with some purple in order to make it look like his skin's kind of red and irritated, but his base color for skin is still green. So I don't know. I don't think it would be quite red, at least not right away, but maybe like starting it at purple might be a good thing to do. So yeah, get in behind that knee and down that leg. I'm gonna have to be careful when I get down to his feet as to not paint the ground that he's walking on because I kind of want to preserve that. I might get purple in a lot of these places. Let's go in here, get this thigh. I think I'm gonna need a little bit more paint. One of these days, I'm gonna have to go back and I'm gonna have to see what how these videos actually do. In general, I don't pay attention to it because there's more behind it than just getting people to watch it. But I mean, there's a lot of it that's just me keeping up with just painting these guys because running a business, sometimes it's easy to lose track of all that stuff. So paint, 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 paint. Back to this thigh because I don't think I quite did it right. Get up here. This lovely, lovely thigh. Doo-doo-doo. Getting on that hand. Some of these under areas are just hard to remember to do. Get down there, get this, because there's all this nice cordedness about these arms Like he is so going crazy that he's just straining against his own body. You know, maybe my Tyranny of Dragons game just finished the campaign, and we've still got a few sessions before I can start something new. So, um, I am going to have. So I'm putting them through some custom content. I should use some dire trolls. Last time I used one, it got the group's rogue alone. And so it was round after round of the group rogue trying to escape while everyone else was outside trying to summon a fire elemental and teasing the group's pet dragon. The dragon ended up getting really frustrated and mad and used its breath weapon um, against the person they cared about the most, and then out of embarrassment and being all upset, ran away from the group, and it turned into this whole drama thing, which was fun. The group loved it. Um, Getting it there. I think that here's the thigh. Can't forget the thigh. Okay, next step. Oh, gotta get the foot, but gotta be careful not to paint the ground. Being careful around this flocking because I want the foot to still be a foot. Okay, so that looks good. So let's keep it on the camera. Yeah, I'm sorry about the lighting setup. I know that, like I said, we just redid my workspace setup altogether. So with that came redoing the lighting, and not all of it was able to be reset up again. But the show must go on. Okay. Clean the brush. We'll probably end up continuing this guy next week. However, right now, we're pulling out the purple. And I think I want a nice reddish purple because orc blood might be nice. Um, or wasteland soil might also be nice. I think I like wasteland soil a little bit more. Like I said, I kind of want it to be reddish because it's irritated skin. But the base color of the skin is still green, so you know, reasons. So let's shake it up. And I mean, like, dire trolls are kind of these creatures whose mutations are just going out of control. So, man, blotchy skin all the way. Blotchy paint all the way. Let's shake this up some more and try again. If not, I could probably still get it reasonable on the palette. A little bit better, but still. Okay, so let's clean, 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 clean. I was not taking the show must go on to a little bit to the point where I didn't necessarily check to make sure I had everything in place first before hitting stream. Okay, so I'm going to start with the thigh, with some of these bumpy areas, and just kind of get it. Again, relatively wet. I kind of want this to sink in and be a part of his flesh. As we do more with it, it looks like he has a little bit of that going on right here. And then kind of thin that down a little bit for like around some of these faces. Because having faces come out of your stomach gotta hurt. So just like with the red slot, the theory is you get some of the color in the base coat, and then when you go back over things, you kind of pull it back together. And so you get these slight variations in your skin that then gets pulled back together. So getting around these knobs in his head here, I think I kind of want this to be going across parts of his face, particularly since he has some knobs down here. Night. People are going home because it is getting late around here. Let's get some, just some right over here. Around his knobs up here. Really got to work on this lighting setup. This is the pretty boy face. Let's get a little bit right here. So the pretty boy face, I'm just going to do a little bit across the bridge of his nose. There's some roughness on his arm right here, so I'll go and do that. Across his knuckles. On that hand, and a little bit here. To get a general blotchiness around him. I'm definitely trying to focus it around wherever I'm seeing any kind of like roughness, like right here. Right here. I'm not necessarily targeting the deep cracks. But I am getting it. But I am anywhere where I'm seeing some of this, what looks like skin irritation, I'm going to just go there. This is definitely going to be a multi-week project, so you can look forward to a part 2. Aren't you excited? Yeah, I know you are. Go and try to get some of this like right here. Still keep his nose right. Let's get some on his forearm right here. And while in general I'm trying to avoid the creases, I am going to get some kind of between some of these heads, because those are points that gotta hurt. Can get his lower jaw here. This guy looks like he should have some redness on his nose anyway. So, boom. Red nose. Look at that. He actually kind of looks like he has a. Here, let's do it. I'm going to tweak his nose on the side. Let's get some of the ears. Because, ears are always irritated. Okay, there you go. Now let's get some right here. I have a feeling that this is just one of those colors. The more I look, the more I see these rough patches where he just deserves to get some redness. Again, one note with this model is I tend to like to do the basing last, but because I did a basing video a while back when I was also feeling a little bit rushed, or not quite ready to do a painting figure video, um, I already did this guy's basing. His nose also looks like it should be a little bit red. There. Get a little bit of his. Yeah, because he has a little bit over his brow right here. And I'll get up into this crack here because it should have been gone. Okay, so there we go. And you can see it's kind of getting into this dull redness. There, I might want to reinforce some of it later. I don't know. Okay. Since a lot of this work is actually going to be skin, and his skin is green, I'm actually now going to pull out the angel green because, like I said, it's a dark green, but it's a green green. Not any of these muddy greens or anything like that. And I think I am going to switch up. It's one nice thing about doing these paint nights is they constantly give you these like toe the line style brushes. I think I'm going to move to the regiment brush because I think I'm going to have to give good old standard brush a rest. Normally when I do this step, I'd actually go to something like the small dry brush because I think it does a fantastic job on a lot of it. But my small dry brush is loved so much that it's kind of starting to fray and it's kind of losing some of its control. But you know what? I'm going to go to it anyway. I love this one. Poor brush. Look at that tip. That's just kind of, it's like a fuzzy toothbrush. So I'm going to try to whip it into some kind of shape. But this is a monster. It's okay if we get a little messy with it. I mean, who's to say that that blot should end there? Or it's not like it's a piece of trim where you're like, why is that trim 3 different colors? No, it's a blotch. Let it be blotchy. Okay, so getting some thinness in there. I'm gonna actually start on some of these arms because I feel like that's where it's just gonna be kind of and not deep. And I'm just gonna quickly dry brush over parts of this. And I'm just trying to turn some of this surface area greener, bring back the green. So you can see on that arm, it's turning into a nice subtle effect. Instead of the bam purple that it was. I'm particularly going to work inside these cracks because it's like we wanted this dry brush or It's hard to get into the crack. It's like we want it there, but we don't want it to be there. We just want it to be kind of there, so it looks like he has a rash. So I'm really with this step. I'm really going to go and pay attention to these heads because the layering on the face is one of those things that really does it adds up. Um, okay, so let's go down here. Kind of trying to get to the sides here. We're probably going to hit this skin with a number of layers just to get all the different variations that we want to see in there, yet still make it look like it's all the same skin. Um, let's go to this leg. So getting the back of his leg there. Getting across his back here. Turning it from this dull mud into kind of a greenish that's not necessarily that plasticky green it was before. So, but since the paint is not absolutely opaque, some of the previous layers still show through even as it grabs onto the high points. You can even still see some of that plasticky color beneath in some of these places. Get up on the elbow. Get across on the elbow. The probably was a little bit thicker, but it doesn't matter. Like I said, right now I'm just trying to build up these chromatic colors before going in with the washes. Um, I'm definitely gonna like hit another level of irritated skin. Um, Particularly trying to pay attention to that thigh because there's so much about that thigh that's easily missed. before, and maybe another green or two in order to get it how I want. I'm actually thinking I might use a gloss varnish for the top. Oh, look at that nice little Minsk-like spot across there. Painting Minsk, I'm pretty sure this orc blood is how you want to do the tattoos. Every now and then I'm checking myself to make sure I'm in everything's being held in frame. Let's get some nice wetness and just hit these hands across the palms because the palms need building up too. You don't want to get at the end and say, "Oh man, I totally missed those fingers." And then last bit, let's go across here and here. Some of these decisions I'm going to have to sleep on, but you know, that's natural. So I think now I'm going to go to a little bit more of a ready red type thing. Did I use the orc blood? I think I was using the orc blood and I meant to use this wasteland soil. One or the other is good for Minsk. Um, I think I'm going to continue with the other thing with more of a red abomination gore, which I guess works because this guy is abomination. So so let's go with a little bit more of a redder color for those more irritated things. Oh man, this thing is just not mixed.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. So our board gamers just clear it out, which always makes us happy when it's before 10 because we like our sleep. But we're getting some of our last minute crafts because you know we got to craft in order to get stuff out. You know, getting things done, getting things done. This red needs lots and lots of mixing. Can't wait to put that on. I will go back to my good old fashioned. No, not that one. Where did that brush go? Here it is. Good old fashioned standard hobby brush. That is showing signs of being way too dirty. Yeah, definitely showing signs of being way too muddy. My mom would lecture me so hard. So, oh yeah, for those people who watch Roxy's stream on our Facebook page, she streams right now every Friday, but that's going to be moving to Tuesday, starting in September. And this month she's going to skip the 20th and stream on the 27th instead. Um, so go and check her out. So we can go. Put this on some of these face parts. Like I said, it gotta hurt. I really want to get that real feel of irritation here, although I think that might have been too thick. Yeah, it's probably fine. Canvas or models, never underestimate the power of the pinky. Let's get. I think I might want to move that light over this way because I think I'm getting too much shadow this way. Get some on this foot too. I think on his knobs on his head over here. Actually, I'm starting to get suspicious that some of those knobs are little eyelets. Let's get like here, here, stippling, stippling, stippling. And let's get some here. Okay, that looks good. So we got some more severe. So you got the baser purples going on in there. This guy should be almost all. Yeah, so you got some of the baser reds, and then you got some of these lighter reds just to add a little bit more to all the blotchiness and stuff. We'll see how it turns out. I am glad that we're going to be and that this is going to be a multi-parter because some of these steps it gives me a chance to kind of look back and go, "Huh, how did that work?" Okay, pulling out my greens again. Um, again, don't want to do too big of a jump, but definitely want something lighter. This army green might be away. It's still a little bit muddy. But yeah, some of these like the goblin green, the scaly hide. Scaly hide is definitely a top coat thing. Or maybe even the poison cloud might be a top coat thing. But I need something in a commando green, maybe. You know, the top of goblin green and the bottom of the goblin green looks very different. So, which means I'm gonna need to needs to be shaken and mixed there, and I'll go for moldy clothes. Man, the names on these things. If all we do is get the skin to a point where I'm happy with it, that's going to be an accomplishment. You know, I feel like we're practically redoing massive amounts of this thing. Shake, 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 shake. You know, I rejected the goblin green to begin with, but I think that's the one I'm going to continue shaking up to do this one. Because, like I said, I still want him to. I don't want him to be muddy all the way. You know, kind of muddy is okay, but all muddy, not so great. Okay. Okay. So again, taking that um, small dry brush, I sure hope I'm able to figure out a way to get this back up to life, or I might have to replace it with another one just like it because I really do like this brush. Okay, getting small amounts on the thing. I'm going to start with the leg this time and just kind of more of a dry brush pattern, move it back and forth. Trying to get some of those ripples to show out. Yeah, just look at how it's making those feet textures. It's blending in with the ground, which I guess is fair. It's green ground, green grass, green skin. Getting in there. And you're starting to see the rippling muscles pop through. Man, I nearly covered up that anklet. One question I have to ask myself, and you can see how because of the dry brushing, it still looks red. It still looks kind of scabby and nasty, but and irritated like a scabby rash. Um, but it also kind of blends in on the edge with the dry brushing. I'm gonna have to be careful with those though when I go and do the washes because it's gonna be real easy to erase a lot of that with the washes. Get that on the top of the hands to get those hands to pop out. I'm not going to bring this on the palm because most of the palms are kind of in shadowy areas and I want to keep that shadow. If you get it too thick, just a little bit too thick, just keep on working and it'll smooth out and turn it more into that dusting that you want. So I guess this one's really turning into a, hey, I broke this model. How do you fix it? Kind of thing. So yeah, getting that buildup of scabby. So it definitely looks like it's irritated. I might actually do a red wash in there because that kind of makes it look like maybe that it's weeping. That would be cool. Get this up on the top of those heads, those shiny, those beautiful bald heads of theirs, and get that. Ooh, that might be too thick. Get that beautiful bald head to get all those things. Gonna have to work that a little bit because I think I got it too thick. So yeah, quickly got some more wet. Start going on to the main man because this is the focus head. This is the head that everyone's gonna look at and judge. Is it good or is it bad? The other ones are nice and they're like ooh ah on those other ones. But that one head is the one that's gonna make it or break it. Let's get up here. I'm gonna have to be careful when it comes to the when it comes to doing washes on this one. Which we'll record washes next week. Hopefully we'll do some skin washes on this guy next week and get to some. Oh, look at, you can see that line down the chest. And there's still a little purple cast where we put on that, where we put in the original orc's blood. So the irritated sections look irritated and like they hurt. Let's get this arm. Because for everything I understand about dire trolls, that's one thing I kind of want is like they're just in constant pain because their regeneration is working against them, but it also makes them into this big, powerful beast. This big, powerful, hungry beast. I'm going to do a little bit on palms of this one because you can really see that palm. This one, this part of it's far more important. This one, getting into that palm is a little bit more important. It all has to do with where the focus is. Getting on this arm. You know, I'm loving this coat. It's making so much. It's popping for me. I hope the lighting is making it so you can see it. Um, but back and forth on that one. So yeah, there. Right now I'm just going through seeing if there's any missed spots. Like the back of this leg. The foot looks like it's been gotten. This is when it really gets hard not to paint the ground. So there is, I think I'm gonna need a little bit more of this. Across there, getting in there. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, that's getting a little bit too thick, even for being able to just work it off. It's getting a little bit too thick. That's a really green leg. So I'm just going over one more time the places where I think the muscles are just really beautiful on this guy. I know after I was talking about painful, gnarly things, it's like, nah, there's some beauty on some of this muscle work. It's too much, but you know, this is where that is something where washes can go and fix. So get some of this back. Because I think this back particular is where I really thought, you know, getting a little bit more will be a little bit more definition back here would really pay off. Oh, and we can't forget pretty boy face. I think this was his original face. This was the face of the troll, the first troll he ate. That's why he gets to sit up front. Let's get something to get that chin a little bit more. chinny. Let's get some on here to get that a little bit more. I'm starting to think that eye just needs to be white, like he's blind on that in that eye. And for all those who out there who are saying trolls can't be blind, I say shut up.
Why is the troll blind?
Because it kind of looks like the troll should be blind in that eye.
Only one eye?
Yeah, only one of his many, 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 many eyes. But oh, just when I was about ready to finish it, I was like, oh no, didn't hit that spot hard enough. That needs to. There it goes. Yeah. Well, that I think. And I'm still coming back there and messing with it every time. I'm like, I think I'm. Wait. I think. Oh, wait. Okay. That I think is where we're going to end it for this week. So you're going to see that there's a lot more definition in the thing. We got a little bit of the skin. We got a little bit of these irritated red marks, like you see right back here. Next week I'm going to blind him. I'm going to first go in and recapture some of this detail in the face and the teeth and the eyes and such. The many, many, many eyes. Oh man, look up there. You know what I said about keep on going back. Oh, and the fact that my brush is actually, I'm dry brushing with a wet brush. Ha ha ha. I think might actually be a benefit because it's going to be real thin on here just to get this a little bit less red. There. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're going to see how it all comes out. Because we're going to do the eyes and teeth and try to get back some of those facial details while and then going in and doing washes on the skin, and then I'm going to start taking a look at the rest of the stuff. This guy probably at this point I'm going to say that I want to say I'll be done in 2 weeks. So next week should be the last, but I'm not going to kid myself. I think it's going to this is going to be a 3-week project, so we're going to see this for 2 more weeks. And then I'll get on to my magical fairy lady, and then after that, hopefully I'll be able to get on some new models because I could use some new models. So, everyone, thank you for joining me. Have fun. Take care. If you like what you watched, you can follow us all over the interweb at 3 Gear Studios or 3 Gear Games. And you can watch and we're going to be trying to do some kind of painting or craft video every Wednesday. Share, like, and subscribe all our stuff, and we would appreciate. Love you forever. And of course, you can always come into our shop in Central Maryland in order to enjoy us in person and meet the muffin. So, everyone, take care and enjoy.